to round 13 of the Swemp Electronics Football Alliance. Welcome to everyone who is watching either live or on rerun, I suppose that's the best word to use. And we have a wonderful guest commentator today who's travelled all the way from the Championship Manager Super League. And it's a warm welcome to Mr. Stephen Fife. Good evening, Fifey. How are you?
Evening, pal. Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah, it's
As am I.
reaching the halfway stage. Great to have somebody on who knows what they're talking about, and it's going
So
to
you got
be.
someone else on as well?
Yeah. I'm intending on the. No, I was referring to myself, and uh,
Oh, yes. Yes,
and I think that tonight we should have some proper good football entertainment. We have got. Looking at the last round of fixtures here, well, you can look at the table first of all. We can see that the Dublin Blues have a 3-point cushion at the top of the league so far, but anything can happen, of course. Dalgety Rangers and Trumpton Vice Squad just 2 points, 3 points behind. I can't count tonight, and 2 points ahead of Atletico New Mills. Then down just below those, Roundhay Park Avenue and Really no chance. And then into the next part of the table, teams that probably don't have quite as much chance as those, Stackington Colliery and Los Urracas. Then a bit of a gap down to the 76ers, of course, they won the Cup earlier this season. And then Grove Imperials, Radaby FC, I don't know how to describe it, the surprise package in all the wrong ways this season. And then into the bottom three, Larry's OTs on 6 points, FC Danglies on 3, and Gondor with just a solitary draw. Let's have a look at tonight's fixtures. We can see that Danglies have a big game away to Atletico New Mills, and Big Noopy is going in some sort of little tribute to the Danglies today, as you might see. What's attracting your attention from the little bits of the Swemp League that you've seen?
Do you know what? I appreciate, as I've said when I've done other things, I appreciate the varied content that people are putting out. But what I like about this is that a lot of the participants have kind of gone with themes, which I've picked up on, and I like the fact that they've based their squad on themes. I mean, I fully appreciate the work you've put in doing it and the way the like the managers are interacting and stuff. It reminds me a lot of the Super League, but I do like that a lot of them have sort of themed their squads, and obviously having a few mates from the Super League participating means that I am keeping up to date with what's going on as best I can. I know that, for example, was it last night the other division played, and I know Jens has had a bit to say about his somewhat. Was it a shock defeat? I suppose. I know.
I
I
would
know
say
he's.
so.
I know he's had a lot to say about it today.
I would say it's not so much a shock in terms of the fact that they lost. It was the manner of basically the game was going nowhere for a while, and then it just fell apart. But yeah, they're obviously a very good team, the whole side. And I don't know if you've seen, it's just the one named concept that they've got, every single player with just the one name on it.
Yeah.
We have got Rob, CM Robbie, commentator last night, and of course, wonderful Harry Redknapp impressions as ever. You can take a back seat tonight, Rob, and just join us on the chat. And of course, anything you want to throw at us, we are always here for that. And anyone else who joins chat, we've got a few more viewers coming in, so yeah, just make yourself known. And unless you're hiding from us, we can see. Yeah, it is great, isn't it? The whole concept ideas and things. And I know that quite a few people are heading towards concepts for next season. So I'm allowing, if people want to go for a complete squad overhaul to introduce a concept, it's all good fun. Teams that aren't introducing concepts, it'll be a case of just a few transfers if they need to spruce up their teams. But let's get into the action for today. And starting off with the game that I think is the most entertaining one. We've got Steve Wright's Radaby FC versus Larry Pike and his Otis side. Now, looking at this team, how can this team be 11th in the league?
Well, I mean, we were obviously having various discussions before you went live, and I found it quite amusing when you showed me the league table. I said it sums Steve's side up that his goal difference is zero, if I remember correctly. He
Absolutely.
scored 17, conceded 17. The team above him have almost conceded twice as many goals and are yet still above him, despite scoring the same amount.
A
You
whole
look at the
point
names
ahead.
you look at the names in the squad and that he's put together there, and you think to yourself, Lee Bowyer is a player we all know very well from Champ. Obviously, I'm looking at Ronaldinho and Harry Kewell, who's obviously injured there. They're obviously playing for my club in the Super League.
Mm.
Cannavaro. I mean, Steve's basically built a who's who of CM quality, and then decided to say, okay, now I'm going to prove what not to do with them, because evidently, what can't speak can't lie, as they say, and the table doesn't make happy reading for Mr. Steve.
Does not make
Um,
happy reading at all. I suppose there's any place he'd rather be than 11th in the league. I think looking at the side, 4 at the back today, and a squad full of stars, but this 4 at the back means he does not have Steve Finnan, his favourite player.
yes, I did spot that actually, that Finnan was in the squad but not playing. I suppose when you look at having the likes of Duff available, he's not likely to play ahead of him. You look at that midfield, and first of all, you think that midfield looks incredibly strong, which sums up what I was saying about the squad. But then I'm also looking at him thinking, I'm sure I saw Vieira's name in the squad, yet I can't see Vieira's name in the team.
Yeah,
It's
Vieira,
not like he's injured or suspended.
he's just been dropped. Yeah, it's not a normal Vieira, is it? A 6.8 for this, but
Now, tell me, does Steve in Swemp League match Steve of season 1 in the Super League, where every week he's tinkering, and the team is never the same? I see he's got Crespo again, uh, but Crespo's not playing. Vieri's not playing yet. Collins has got a place on the bench. He's a maverick, is Steve. He'll do what he likes, and it'll never, very rarely make any sense. I mean, he's named the team after Radaby, and Radaby can't even get a place on the bench.
Radaby so far 2 cup games and nothing in the league whatsoever. Rob making reference to the right hand column. I imagine that is possibly Vieira's right hand column down there. Other
Yeah,
than set pieces. You've yeah.
he's been dropped because he can't take a free kick, despite having the likes of Ronaldinho in the team.
Sheer admiration. Let's see. Hopefully for them, they'll start to come good at some point and show what they can actually do. But we get into the match and they're up
No,
against.
no. It's much more amusing for everyone else involved if Steve struggles, because then he'll start doing really angry videos.
Yeah, I mean, once all the sock draw's gone, where does he go next?
I imagine it'll be the pants draw next.
I dread to think. So the Oatcake side, who are currently 12th in the league, have had a slight upturn in form recently, with 2 wins in their last 3 games, up against the other 2 teams in the bottom 3. How many of this side are you familiar with?
Well, first and foremost, what is that monstrosity of a tactic?
I believe it's a way of fitting in with the rules of having 3 at the back and 2 players out wide.
You know what? You could forget it, because oatcakes are automatically my favourites now, because they recognise the genius that is Fraser Bremner.
This is Fraser Bremner's debut, and the reason why Fraser Bremner is in is purely because of the injury to Barakat. So Barakat is dropped through injury, and Fraser Bremner steps in.
So, for anyone that doesn't know, I have championed Fraser Bremner in the past. He starts off at Elgin City. as like a 17, 18-year-old midfield. He has virtually, if you were to go purely on stats, he has no right to play for any football team in the world. In my much younger years, when I played, I did a save because I was into that. Could you get a semi-professional side, like into Europe, etc. So I took over Elgin and I took Fraser from Division 3 to the UEFA Cup as it was then with Elgin. Then I got relegated, couldn't work out why. It's because I changed the training to fitness all season without changing it back. But Fraser Bremner at the age of like 21 was my captain because despite his poor stats, he was phenomenal. He was averaging 8 no matter what league you were in. He got called up to the Scotland squad, etc. And I also had the luck in a few years ago when I was writing my Heroes of CM blogs and I was interviewing different people. I actually had the pleasure and privilege of interviewing him about it. When he retired early, he blamed CMO 102 for not getting the qualifications he perhaps should have had at school because he was too busy playing himself. And but he actually went into management for a while in non-league in Scotland, and I got the opportunity to interview him.
Brilliant. And was he a decent guy?
Yeah, he was sound, and the club he was working for at the time, they shared it all on their website and stuff. So yeah, it was really nice talking to him. So I'm back in OTs here. Sorry, Steve, but Fraser Bremner, hope he's on all set pieces, free roll, banging a trick. Let's do this, OTs. The only thing I have against the OTs is I struggle to support teams in yellow and blue, but that's just personal preference. But as Fraser's there, I'll let them off.
Teams in yellow and blue.
You look at the team, and it's a complete mismatch. You've got Steve's All Stars versus the like the dog and duck team of the OTs. So, as a Swindon fan, I'm always going to back the underdog.
It hasn't been the best day for Swindon, has it?
No, it's been a complete shit day, and that's why I'm very happy you invited me on, because this is going to be a hell of a lot more entertaining than the dross I was watching earlier. I mean, anyone who... There's no reason any of you would, but I do an intermittent Swindon podcast with a group of fellow supporters, and we recorded straight on the whistle tonight. And there was a few choice words throughout the 55-minute recording, and it was probably our most passionate. I mean, I enjoyed doing it, but I wish the subject matter would have been more positive. But yeah, it was a very passionate outlay. I mean, anyone who's followed me in the Super League knows I try not to, particularly if they watch the Super League shows I record on a Friday, I generally ask the questions, let everyone else talk. But I went in today. I went mad. I must have done about 4 rants in the hour show.
Oh, superb! I think you need to plug that one. Give people a bit of a listen. That would be good.
Evening, Big Kid and James, who have joined in the comments as well.
Yes, yeah, Big Kid, master of the formations, and Jim with his Round Hay Park Avenue side, saying that straight away you will not enjoy those, unless you never know. Teams that might get their away kits out, because we do have a few yellow and blue teams in the league. Maybe we'll have a actually, is it just a 2? I can't remember. But yeah, we'll get kicking off with this one anyway. I'm just going to check it's not on stupid speed. Off we go. So
come on, the OT. Come on, Fraser. Don't let me down, Fraser.
Some live action. I say live action. We've gone 10 minutes with nothing. Bremner involved. It's an own goal from Cannavaro, and the OTs
I
are
was
in the
hoping
lead.
that was Bremner.
Bremner was involved, and
there is going to be absolute scenes if Bremner scores.
The OTs are winning. What a start this game has been. Cannavaro with the opening goal.
Oh, Steve's going to get it if he loses this one. I mean, Steve's had a terrible week or so. He lost to you, he lost to me. Now, if he loses to this lot, he is not going to hear the end of it.
It will top it off, won't it? But at least the pubs have been open. Oh, Nicky Franco's pulled one back. We are level. And this is giving them a bit of something to go into half-time with, isn't it? 1-1. Toldo having a nightmare. Steve's not one for making substitutes though, so unless he's here, which I don't think he is at the moment, we will be looking without any changes for either side at this point.
I mean, this isn't the sort of level of entertainment I was hoping for. If I'm honest, lads, I wanted much more attacking football than this.
Oh, likewise. I think everyone's hoping for that.
This is typical Steve, just trying to bore teams into submission.
With his 61% possession. And also both goals. Let's have a look at it. Bremner it was who had the shot. And
Go on, Fraser!
Dubious goals panel. How much did it deflect?
No, I'm giving that to Fraser myself.
You called him out at the start of the game, and there he is providing the goal. And then towards the end of the half, which was a fairly quiet half to be honest, Ronaldinho with getting the loose ball, crossing it in, and Nicky Franco with a header, and it just sees the team through to being level, which is the very least they needed.
Thing is, they've had the ball, they've had the better of the chances, but it was when you consider again, I know football isn't played on paper, but when you look at the differences between the sides, I think Steel will be bitterly disappointed in the first half, and the ratings reflect that. You know, there's 2 players with an 8. There's a couple of 7s, but they're mostly 6s, and that sums it up. It's been bang average.
Some booing going on. I think the fans want more. The fans want more from this Rugby side.
That's because, and I apologise for not knowing everyone's first names. I know them more by their Twitter accounts. But Big Kid, if it's the same one, I believe it is. As I was saying to you off air, he took part in the Rivals race when we did the Rangers and Celtic thing. And he's used to entertainment because I introduced everyone to the legend that is Danny Invincible. And they were all getting numbers out of him.
Oh, Danny. What a hero he was of Swindon, of course, and was it
Kilmarnock?
Kilmarnock that side there, and yes, Mr.
I think
what was he really called? Invincible?
No, it was actually Invincible. He's Australian. He's not Italian or anything. It was actually Invincible. He had the Italian look though, sort of wet, tied back hair and stuff. I mean, OT's stats are equally average, which says what you need to see for the half we've had. But again, that's probably more expected when you consider the elite they're up against. So I'm still backing them to pull this off.
Yeah, it's been a very quiet half for Nick Baker. He usually throws in about 30 tackles, and Willie Jamieson is involved again. They're missing Neil Aspin, who he's fit again, but there's been no changes to lineups for a while, so Neil Aspin's certainly missing in defence. But we'll see if the second half can bring anything for either side. Radaby.
Come on, Fraser.
Radaby, what are you doing? The second half starts with a chance straight away for Radaby, and then down the other end of the pitch, but straight back again. Till Madeira.
At least it's end to end.
Yes, end to end without any shots, I believe, in the beginning of this half. No, Nicky
I also believe that Steve has named his ground after my fantasy football team. Because my fantasy football team is called Smack My Clitch Up.
Oh, well, there you go. It's an ode to you. It's 2-1 to Radaby as it stands. 20 minutes to go. There's been no substitutes lined up for this match at all, barring any injuries. And we are still poised, but I do believe Radaby have got enough to win this game now.
They should see it out from here.
They should, but the pressure's on.
OT's a trying.
Downfall, yeah. I think. Oh, Nicky Franco's nearly had a hat trick then, and a deserved man of the match performance there. Big Kid saying he loved the Rivals race. I think I caught a bit of it, but I didn't see. I think it was the time when I was playing my positional challenge where I was running teams of 14 teams with lots of different positions and random sides.
I haven't, if I'm honest, I didn't take part in as many of the races as I would have liked to. But when I got the opportunity to run my own, I wanted to do something completely different. And what I liked about it was that people weren't sure initially what it was going to be like. But once they got the idea that I had, that I was going to be the chairman, and depending on whether you were Celtic or you were Rangers, you were going to get a different challenge. People then embraced it, and although they were playing their own game, they were building their fellow team. Like, because I think that worked out there was about 15 Rangers managers and 15 Celtic managers, and all the Rangers managers, suddenly there was a hashtag Team Rangers, and they were all building each other up, say do this, do that, and all trying to get each other. And the Celtic guys were doing the same thing. It was good fun.
It sounds really good. Yeah, I did see, snippets of it. Certainly, I do remember it, and yeah, it certainly probably was one of those things that dominated the news feeds for little bits. To be honest, it was good. Rob, yeah, it's not bad, is it? Rob's suggesting it's a fantastic impression of you that I'm doing tonight. So, so yeah, that you're not actually here.
No, I'm just ingrained on people's brains. They're just hearing my voice.
Oh well, Otis managed to put another shot on target in the second half to add to it, but really nothing much more to add in terms of action areas and such. Like the winning goal early in the second half, we've got Nikiforenko. Well, let's see. So I mean, he with a capital H, is this God? He continued to bring the ball forward. He continued to put the ball forward. Nikiforenko ran at whatever his name is, Kilokri or whatever, and then took it past him a few times, nutmegged him. This is some sort of skill.
He basically retired him.
He's tormented him. He deserves the man of the match performance there. 7 dribbles as well. And yeah,
You know what? I'm happy. I'm happy for Steve, and it's obviously when you're struggling, as I'm well averse to. It's always important to get wins and points. But I'd still be bitterly disappointed that his all-star elite squad has only just about managed to beat a team that consisted Fraser Bremner,
who got a 5. Bremner got
well,
a
I think that's harsh. I think that's harsh on him only getting a 5. If I'm honest, you look at what he was up against.
7.
If you put him up against Tomasi or Vieira in real life, he would not be getting the numbers he's got there. So I think he should be getting at least a 7 for his performance tonight. And like you say, he was wrongfully not given his goal. So
yeah, the fact that his shot isn't even a shot. It's a strange one. No headers won. So yeah, it's certainly, Otis. It's been a nice run for them. 2 wins out of 3. It's now 2 wins out of 4. But the defence have been throwing in some great tackles. And it was Rocco's debut, I believe, as well. Mr. Wooder is here. Good evening, Mr. Wooder.
Evening, Wooder.
You've just seen. You've just arrived at the point where Otis, one of your big rivals, have lost. So it's a perfect opportunity for you. But Steve's pulled 3 points further ahead. It's now into the second game, and Jim is here today with his Los Urracas side, and they're up against Los Urracas. Now, you should be able to work out the sort of vague area of the concept of this squad.
Well, there's a lot of talent in this squad. That's first and foremost.
There have to be on the pitch at any one point 5 players from Newcastle United. And so
okay.
We've got Kluivert, Emre, Dyer, Woodgate, and Ronnie Johnson in the team at the moment.
Do you know what? If you'd have asked me to pick out the 5, I would have got those 4, and I wouldn't have even thought of Ronnie Johnson.
Yeah, it's certainly one of those later on things, wasn't it? The subs bench is getting quite full of Newcastle players at the moment. We've got 3 of them compared to the usual 1 or 2. Shea Given is back into the squad after suspension, but Costanzo is keeping his place in goal today. Last match out, a 3-2 defeat to Really No Chance, which has left them now 8th, having been overtaken by Stackington. So, what do you make of the side?
It's got some decent out of Kieran Dyer, a player I know very well from Devils. Kluivert and Sigalko obviously can score goals. Ronaldinho, another player I know very well. Riquelme is interesting, and it depends on I suppose it depends on the match engine, if you like, because he's a player who, if you compare him to what he's done in the past in the Super League, can be very, very hit and miss. Um, so that'll be interesting to see, how his performances are. And Jonathan Woodgate is one of those players who I always liked. I had a begrudging respect because what other player could get a multi-million-pound move to Real Madrid, get injured for a year without playing, make his debut, score 2 own goals, and get sent off? What a legend!
And in York nightclubs, refer to himself to all the girls as JW.
Indeed, as I believe Mr. Wooder does as well.
Oh, well, we all know that that's the sort of thing that he would do. Dyer and Woodgate, 10 out of 10 coming up, according to Jim. We shall see
Yeah,
if that sort of thing
surprising.
affects his side today. Who, you're not a fan, yellow and blue, but this team, last time out, a 4-3 defeat with a Van der Sar late red card. I think it was a penalty that won the game. Yeah, it was a penalty that won the game from Saeed. A full house of 60,000 for the match. And this time round, I mean, it is a strong side, isn't it?
It is, and we've got another Raquelme there. Um, I love that everyone so far has done, like, with the exception of Otis, who are just completely like rogue, but they've all gone with like really good squads, and then there's that one random player. So in this time, very good on this particular game, but you look at that again all-star team, and then you see Chris Kirkland.
Yeah, making his debut today in place of Van der Sar. So it's interesting to see that Kirkland's being chosen, that Richard Wright is keeping his place on the bench, despite the fact that he's been the sub-keeper. He doesn't step into the side for today.
Again, he's got a history with that, because that's exactly what he's done with me this season in Devils. He plays for Devils. He's the sub to Seb Frey. But I signed Kudicini, and all of a sudden Wright's disappeared, and he's suddenly become third choice.
Chris Kirkland not good enough to make the Danglies team. No, Danglies haven't played yet, Mr. Wooder. There's still time for you to watch your beloved. Yes, he has performed well on the bench. He came on and conceded a penalty for those 6 minutes he played, but he's been an excellent bench warmer.
This could be quite a good game. I mean, it tells you everything that Kirkland hasn't even got a number. They're obviously playing the sort of traditional 4-1-3-2 that pretty much any CMO 102 player has played in the past. But this could be quite a good game. I'm going to say away win based on the teams in front of me. But this could be definitely a lot more entertaining than the first game.
Yeah, we've got two footballing sides up against each other, so hopefully it'll produce something in those big runs from the Araka's defensive mids, who are, the wing backs basically. It'll be interesting to see if those can beat the Roundhay side, who are obviously quite narrow on the other side. It is lovely to hear Fifey in full flow, isn't it, Wooder? Let's get the game underway. From Tropical World, the great butterfly place.
We got one of those round this way somewhere.
Oh, wonderful!
Oh no, we've got a no, we haven't. We got a tropical birdland. Just down the road from me.
It shows how little's been happening in the match that we can talk about. But there's Ruud van Nistelrooy scoring the opening goal of the game, and Roundhay are in the lead, and Riquelme has made it 2.
Well, one Riquelme's turned up at least.
Uracas have been shell-shocked with that. Costanzo's having a bit of a nightmare in goal. Will he be able to recover from that?
Uracas have been shook like maracas.
The Magpies have been, I don't know.
Well, it's definitely one for sorrow, isn't it?
There's Ronaldinho with his first goal of the game, 2-1. He's coming close. I mean, Uracas are certainly getting back into the match, and we are at half-time, 2-1. I would say, without looking at the stats, Roundhay must be dominant.
Yes, I would agree.
And it's no.
No. What do we know?
Yeah, we know absolutely nothing. I mean, Roundhay are dominant in the fact that they've got 100% of shots on target, but it's very, very similar. They've had a lot more possession, so at least we can say that is in our favour.
It's interesting though that in both defensive thirds, the attacking side have been the better side in terms of possession and amount of play.
Considerably in this attacking zone here. Considerably so. I mean, yeah, Iraqis have certainly been taking it to their opponents in some ways. We'll just check those goals and have a little look at those. So, Pires to Henri, and Henri has played it inside, and Van Nistelrooy has finished that one off. And then a Gerrard ball to Riquelme. It's basically one touch and smashing it in from long range. That sounds like a nice goal.
Yeah, that's textbook Rafael, that.
And then it's a Riquelme free kick. So both Riquelmes have been involved in the game. And
I mean,
Ronaldinho's
when have
headed it.
you ever seen Ronaldinho actually header the ball? I've seen him do like head juggling when he's been pissing about pre-match, but when have you ever seen him go up for a header with a goalkeeper?
Well, let's see if he's been doing loads of jumping today, because he tends to do some. For this, no, he's only done four attempted headers. Sometimes you get to half time, he's got 10 headers attempted in the first half. He just tends to jump all the time. But yeah, I mean, Ronaldinho's had all the shots on target for Iraqas, and Sigalko misfiring for them, and very, very little passing going on. They haven't had the ball much though.
Ronaldinho for me, as in terms of personal preference, I know older people tend to say the likes of Maradona, Pele, and younger people are all about CR7 and Messi. But for me, Ronaldinho's the GOAT, so I always enjoy seeing his name appearing on the screen.
You just look back through those highlight things. I mean, obviously the highlights pick up the absolute best bits, but he was kind of at a highlight reel every match, wasn't he?
Yeah, him and Lee Trundle.
Oh, Lee Trundle. Lee Trundle, who'll be playing. Well, he's in one of the squads tonight, but I don't think he's going to be playing.
Okay.
But yeah, he's certainly involved in the league. Yeah, round here showing their dominance in terms of everyone's been passing the ball a lot more. Sol Campbell and Rio Ferdinand have both been excellent there in the defensive roles. If the Swemp League starts transfers, does anyone fancy Steve Staunton for Nesta? I think
Only
most
if
teams
Alf's
would
in
take
there.
you up on that. Yeah, Alf is going to take over a club and give you that deal. We've got Alf, of course, who managed Stackington in the Super League. But Stackington now under their rightful owners in the Swemp. And Van Nistelrooy, yep, 2 shots on target. Riquelme, 1 shot on target. I think this second half is about ready to go. We just check the old substitute things before I kick off, because I realise that, of course, round here on. Jim, if you've got any suggestions for subs, of course, if you're here, you can shout things out to us. It's 60 minutes, though, isn't it, for these? So we'll get going into the second half. And the Riquelme, the Iraqis have come back into it. The Riquelmes, I was calling them. We are heading towards substitute time as Sigalko's taking a yellow card for Iraqis. Van Nistelrooy's had another chance, and we'll be in at substitute. So let's have a look at
I don't know if he's the same. If you found the same. Again, I'll do a lot of likening to the Super League because I've been involved so long. But I don't know if he's the same in this. But Van Nistelrooy, if you do a home save, scores like 30, 40 goals. And in these sorts of leagues where, generally speaking, the teams are quite equal, he doesn't quite hit the same sort of numbers.
He's, I think he's 4 of the 5 top scorers in the league.
Oh, okay.
So he is hitting it in this one. But yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes he doesn't quite do it. He can do it for the computer sides and things, but not necessarily human control ones. Let's have a little look at this. So we've got subs, 6 minutes. Smith on for a striker at 6 or below, and in or injured. So Smith won't come on because those forwards are doing okay.
Big Kid 4 is a man of impeccable taste, isn't he?
Oh,
just reading his latest comment.
Completely, and a very, very good co-commentator as well to have on the show. We've had him before, and he'll be back.
What I'd say about R9 is, obviously, the first I really got to see him would have been 98 World Cup and all the story that went behind that. But yes, he's probably the best out and out striker of that generation.
Yes, yeah, got to agree on that one.
He had everything.
I don't know if Jim is still here if he wants to make the second change for Ronaldinho. We'll hold it up for 30 seconds and see if he does want to take Ronaldinho off. He's at 85 and with a potential foot injury. Perez has gone off with a potential injury as well. Keep Ronnie on, please, of the two. There we go. Perfect. That was what I was hoping to do in terms of those. Perez is not Ronaldinho.
No, but Perez was a fantastic player in his own right, but he will, for me, not being an Arsenal fan, the thing I'll most remember Perez for is pissing up the penalty with Henry.
Yes, that penalty was bizarre, wasn't it?
It's hilarious.
Cats had a chance then.
And it's Danny Mills' reaction where he looks like he just wants to punch them both at the end afterwards.
Van Nistelrooy makes it 3-1. And the substitute not bringing on Alan Smith has worked an absolute treat. Can there be a goal for any team? I mean, certainly we've got 4 goals in this game. You did call for more entertainment. I think we've been getting it.
Much better.
And there's 3-2, Ronaldinho.
Come on, Ronnie.
3-2. This is going to be an interesting last 5 minutes of the game.
Oh,
Sigalko has come close as well. And Ronaldinho, for both teams, has been involved in this match. Puts one just over for Roundhay. And one last chance, maybe. A gap with something, a 3-2 full-time.
You know what? Round of applause for both sides. That's much better for the viewers. That's the sort of drama we're looking for.
It is, and look at the shots in the second half. We certainly got plenty of them. That's Roundhay hitting 14 shots with 9 on target in the second half. Not bad at all.
That's a very good. I mean, to be fair, Arakas doesn't look as good because of the efforts that Roundhay have had there, but both sides clearly improved in that second half, and it was a joy to watch.
It was indeed, and Jim was there at that match that we were talking about with the Perez penalty.
Oh God!
We'll take a look at the second half goals, of which I believe there were 2. We had the ball in from Gerrard to Ronaldinho, putting it into Van Nistelrooy, and a lovely team goal. And there was actually more than that happened, wasn't there? In here, Dyer to Ronaldinho to Sigalko, into Kluivert, back to Sigalko, but then loose ball smashed in from Ronaldinho. So will that be an assist? I'm not sure. Nope, Sigalko doesn't get the assist because it was a loose ball. Yep, it's 2 for Ronaldinho, a great performance for him. Walter Samuel standing out in defence, putting in lots of tackles, but only winning a 7 out of 10. Probably the goals.
Yeah, his partners in crime haven't really helped him there. 6 for Johnson and 6 for Woodgate.
Yeah, certainly not quite. Roundhay, Van Nistelrooy, joint top scorer with Van Nistelrooy. Yep, that's one of those things. He's certainly Van Nistelrooy is on form this season, whatever team you look at. And for the winning side, their defence again stood firm, but the ratings-wise are looking pretty solid, aren't they? Lots of 8s, 9s, and a few 7s and a 10.
I mean, even Rui Costa came on and managed to get the same levels as Perez, to be fair to him. I think be very happy with both the points and the performance there.
And it certainly keeps them back in that hunt for promotion. They're not
Definitely
too far off it, to be honest. And at the halfway stage, I'll be very pleased with their points tally. Real E versus Sons of Gondor. Yes, big congratulations. Big Noopy's here as well. And Athletes Van Nistelrooy playing against the Danglies yet tonight. Yes, he is indeed. And there's a good chance that he might get some more goals, maybe. Wooders looking to shut him out. Gondor.
Gondor is definitely Swan.
It is indeed. And it's all Swansea.
I mean, wow. It's again, I appreciate the fact that he's gone with a theme. Obviously, Rory Fallon is a player who I have a lot of time for. He played for Swindon before he went to Swansea. He scored no one watching this would have ever seen it, but he scored a very, very memorable bicycle kick in a derby against Bristol City. I was only talking about that today. I mean, it's not the sort of team. you'd imagine is going to excel in this sort of competition when you've seen the likes of, Van Nistelrooy, Ronaldinho in other teams. But I like the fact that he's gone with a theme. He's gone with the team he loves, and he wants them to be represented at the highest possible level.
And they are represented at the highest possible level of being in the Swemp Electronics Football Alliance. So yes,
I
superb.
do worry about the very attacking arrows from the midfielders, though.
Yes, yeah. Well, it must be said there's an arrow there for Sosa up to the strikers, and there's also a Van der Hoon run as well in there. They're both running.
Wow. I mean, we all saw the England love train from corners in the last
Of
World Cup,
course.
but this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it just needs like Lacey to join in, doesn't it, with that? And we'd have everything we needed.
And Tate marauding down the right wing.
I love the way that Wooder is imagining that Rigobert Song has a man marking setting on Van Nistelrooy tonight with no player instructions happening. So it'll be great. Top level entertainment. Thank you very much, Wooder. It's
Very kind of you, Wood.
good to have you very interactive on this. Rob is going for Sons of Gondor in this game against Rio Lee. See, Lee Trundle, he's not really been at it this season, and only 9 for Flair. How could you give him 9 for Flair?
Was it? I'm right in thinking he doesn't start at it. This is too early for him at Swansea, isn't it? So he hasn't done all the spinning round his neck and all that stuff. He's not become like Soccer AM's love child yet. So
Not by this, but yeah, he's sort of, Welsh club,
yeah,
of course. But yeah, Krill in the last season, a decent season. I think maybe he's just come into Swansea at this point, or maybe he was still at Krill. I'm not entirely sure. Let's get cracking, and with the real E side, who they obviously we saw last game. Actually, they beat Aracas, and today fitting in their 3 at the back formation. But when they're not with the ball, those 2 centre backs go and play out. Well, those two extra defenders go and play out wide.
um, hmm. It's interesting, and again, to sound the rogue player klaxon, you see all these top quality players littered throughout, and then there's Lee Hendry,
Lee Hendry, yes,
randomly turning up.
he's got his place. He's got his place in the
Gareth
team first
Southgate
start.
Gareth Southgate in an unorthodox left back position. I'm intrigued to see how. I mean, what I do like is a lot of people seem to be doing something very different to the norm. So I'm intrigued to see how Southgate does there, because if it works, then maybe it's something I could adopt in my with my team at some point in the season. But Richard Wright playing, obviously we're talking about him on the bench for one of the other teams.
Yeah, he's doing okay actually, to be honest. With this, 4 games, 5 conceded, not too bad at all.
I mean, if you're basing it on talent, then you're saying that this team will win and probably win comfortably. But when you look at the shape and the tactics, it wouldn't surprise me if Swan's team can nick a draw here.
Yeah, we have. It's possibly due to this sort of position here, but it is only 1 up front despite all those runs. Maybe we'll end up with 5 up front at some point, to be honest. Yeah, imagine 5 up against 1 centre back. That will be interesting. So, are you going for relay?
No, I'm going to stick with a score draw, I think, for this one.
A score draw which would double Gondor's points tally at the halfway stage. So we will get into the action. It won't be very fast. There won't be any action. There will be. And Veron makes it 1-0 early on, and then puts 1 wide as well. So really,
okay, this could be a massacre.
It's not looking fantastic, is it? Roger Freestone's lost his edge in goal at the moment. Harry Kuehl makes it 2-0. Dominant so far.
Harry Kuehl, the epitome of a Marmite footballer. Some people love him, a lot of people hate him.
And Steve does both by having him in his squad but hating him.
So we've got a Maverick managing a Marmite.
There's Veron at 3-0 and 4-0 with Hasselbank, and it's not even half time.
This is just like watching Swindon earlier. This
Is
is
the
horrific.
record on? Is the record on 4-0 as we are? Can it be 5 before half time? It could
Chris, Chris
be.
Coleman putting in a 4.
He's really not on it, Chris Coleman, is he? And it's 4
Frank
1
Lampard,
though.
arguably the best player. Oh
Super
no, there he is.
goals. Makes it 4-1. And half time we are. A 5-goal first half. 0-0 second half, yeah.
And,
Thanks, Wood.
and you know what? Considering it's 4-1, you have to praise
Yeah.
really for being ruthless in front of goal because Gondor have had a go themselves.
Yeah, I mean, to say we've had, 16 shots already in this match. And really, like, Gondor, if they could just find the target a little bit more.
Well, they're finding the target, but
Well,
I'm guessing
you know
the
what I
really
mean.
goalkeeper's getting decent. I guess he must be pulling in an 8 or at least the really goalkeeper. Was it Richard Wright that was in
He
goal?
is pulling in an 8. Yeah, he's doing a great performance so far. There's not one player letting that side down at all. Harry Kewell is carrying a bit of a knock, but he'll go through to 60 minutes, I imagine. With that, they don't usually make half-time substitutes there, I don't believe. Nope. And nobody's on a 5 at half-time, so they certainly won't. For Gondor, they'll be leaving things as they are till 60. But yeah, Chris Coleman drinking from Dean Saunders' hip flask. Hopefully not driving after it. We will have a quick look. Yep, Fifey laughing at a player getting a 4. He's never
I'm
seen the
just
Danglies.
laughing. Well, no, trust me. Again, I've seen plenty of 4s in my Devils history. It's just amusing to see Chris Coleman picking up a 4.
But before we've gone live tonight, you have seen that result where Tony Warner ended up with a 2 as well.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. To be fair, I've not seen like. I think the lowest I'd seen is a player get a 3 before. So, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, if it was me, I'd be hooking him off, but then having a quick scan of the suspension, not sure who you'd put there in
Yeah,
his place.
it's 15 minutes and then maybe replace him if he's not improved. I think there's not much. I mean, the game is gone, isn't it? At 4-1, so it's probably better to keep
Never
Coleman on.
give up.
The only way is up for these. Let's have a little look at the goals. So Van Nistelrooy has done some good work to hold the ball up and play in Veron.
You're busy tonight, any Van Nistelrooy?
Yeah, he always. This is a division where Van Nistelrooy is everywhere, and I'm not even sure if there's a single Van Nistelrooy in Division 1. It's just
Well,
complete randomly assigned to divisions, and there are some real themes. There's lots more Sigalkos in Division 1 than Division 2, lots more Van Nistelrooys in Division 2, and not many I think there's only one Roy Keane in this division, and he doesn't really play. Look at this
I've
from
heard Roy Keane in certain teams is particularly good in attacking midfield. So,
yeah, he does a job. He does a job for Phoenix, doesn't he? No, he doesn't play. So Roy Keane past Melville, then beats Thomas, then beats Tate, then beats Paulo Sousa. 4 players he's beaten in that run. Superb.
look, at least that's textbook Kuehl, not like in the other game where he just beat the same player 5 times on his way to scoring.
I think Rob might be right about Dadji. I think Dadji does have Van Nistelrooy, but he just doesn't get in ahead of Tomadir and Sigalko. But yeah, I think he does play for them indeed. In for other goals, we have got... How many teams have European Golden Boot winners in their squad? Dean Saunders did not win the European Golden Boot.
He might have won the Soccer AM Golden Espadrille one year for Division 4.
So Roger Freestone makes a save and Van Nistelrooy follows it up. Veron follows it up. My screen has just scrolled right the way down. Then we've got Hasselbank scoring with a Lee Hendry assist. So there he is. Milan Baros went.
Milan Baros.
I do remember Euro
Decent player,
2004. Was it?
Milan Baros.
He was pretty good, Baros, but he hasn't been playing much for Danglies this season. It's a Van der Hoon corner tapped in with his head. Not quite a tap in, is it? Super goals. We've seen the teams, and we're going to go through to 60 minutes. Let's get on. Will there be more goals? Maybe another 6. That'll
Can you
be.
imagine
Oh,
random?
it's got worse for Chris
Oh,
Coleman.
he's, he's probably done him a favour there.
Yeah, at least he doesn't have to go off in the shame of doing that. Michael Ricketts, the West Midlands Golden Boot. Yeah, yeah, I agree, Rob. Yeah, and I think once Ulf Kirsten might have played in gold boots, hopefully at one point for Stackington. 10 minutes till the subs. Otherwise, Chris Coleman has gone off and been replaced by Dennis Lawrence, who had a superb debut and a terrible set of games since. Into the subs time. Will there be a fifth goal? No, not at this point.
Just while you're looking at, I mean, I like that they've moved certain things or you've moved certain things and it's not changed. So this says 4-4-2 diamond, and this couldn't be anything more opposite to a 4-4-2 diamond.
Yes, indeed, because it's all going to be based on initial
Yeah,
set formations, but then sometimes people say, right, okay, this is what my team's going to be, and base it on a 3-5-2 attacking or whatever. But when this formation came in, I think it was pretty much just here's what I want as my formation, and no set
yeah.
team to come from. So
While you're doing the admin for these subs, I'll throw a question out to Wooder, if I may.
of course,
How many goals does he think a peak Milan Baros would score in the current Liverpool side?
is it A, none?
Would he get a game, or B, he would replace Firmino no problem and be 30 plus goals?
I can see here that the substitute suggestions are for Giggs to come on for Lee Hendry, but Kewell's clearly carrying an injury, and I think we should put Kewell off instead. Yeah, yeah, Hendry and Giggs is what I think it should be. I think it definitely should be Giggs for Kewell, not Giggs for Hendry. Put Veron further forward and Hendry in the middle.
Yeah, I was going to say put Hendry central.
Yeah,
And if he wants Hendry to come off, Kieran Dyer would do a job there, that's for sure.
it's very true. He's not going to be bringing him off though. He's bringing Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank off for Mark Viduka as the other substitute. It's a good side, and Gondor to manage their substitutes. Paulo Sousa will be withdrawn as well. He's going to come off for.
What position does Van der Gun play?
He's more of is he like an attacking mid forward right centre or something? Yep, there we are.
Okay.
So
Does he have a preset substitution?
their substitutes are manage substitutes. So Paulo Sousa will come off with an injury, but aside from that, there is still a free substitute if you're thinking about making another one. And
well, no, I didn't know if I could just if he preset who had to come on, or if I could say could Van der Gun move back one for Sosa and just let Rory Fallon come on for my own amusement.
let's do it. I mean, they are losing, and I'm just gonna have a look and see if anyone else is misperforming. Paul Williams, yeah, I think with the left back, let's bring on the left midfielder for
Kevin McLeod.
Kevin McLeod getting his debut for the team.
You know what? He's actually not a bad little player on Champ, Kevin McLeod.
Yeah, Everton certainly need him at the beginning. So
that's because they're always in financial trouble and have to sell everyone else.
Definitely. So
you ever started with
he'd do a Danny Ings job, 15 or 16 goals, but not quite a Mo Salah-esque performance. Who are these players, Ings and Salah? I don't know about them really. I think all I know is like these guys that are here.
Yeah, Wood has gone a bit back to the future. He's obviously got his DeLorean and gone about 20 years into the future.
We are looking to see if anything can happen in the rest of this game, or will we be treated to a boring second half. In fact, Lee Hendry's having a decent game.
Fair play to him.
Yeah.
The pointed out random player in the rest of the squad.
And he is doing a job. He seems to be the one. I mean, Giggs has come on and started to try and make an impact. I know he's on a 6, but we're seeing his name. Hendry with another chance. We've got. It's all been really, hasn't it, this last 20, 25 minutes?
Alan Tate's dropped down to a 5 now as well.
Yeah, no one's reached the 4 other than Coleman. It is full time, and apart from Roger Freestone, if you take a look at that, every single player on Really beats every player on Gondor for their ratings.
I mean, it's to be expected where, similar to what we said in the first game, when you put the level of quality in the Real E squad against the level of quality in the Gondor squad, you'd expect this kind of result. So I think Swanee will be a bit disappointed that they've perhaps not managed to apply themselves a bit better. And, you know, we always see the underdog stories in football. This was just a case of the better squad, you know, going in with the right attitude and the right application.
Yeah, it has been that sort of situation for Really this season. They are a very, very comfortable top six side now, and Gondor just 1 point so far. It did look like a bit of a foregone conclusion at the start, especially with that really early goal. Rob, with his comment on Kevin McLeod and his grand designs, yes, I did think that myself as well. Yeah, Rob's always got the quality humour going on as well. So Van Nistelrooy, we saw the Veron goal early on. I've looked at 2 goals from Veron and called him Van Nistelrooy both times. Coleman's gone off injured, and then nothing happened in the second half. I don't even know. I'm looking at the goals. Patrick Vieira with plenty of one headers. I mean, you just look at the stats and think, yeah, they've done all right. There's not many entirely spectacular things going on.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
they've just that's the best word to describe it. Just ruthlessly efficient. I think they'll have. It'd be interesting to see them against a much sterner test.
Yeah, with that defence. That will be I keep saying really every time I talk about this team.
I mean, is this the tactic that's usually played?
I think this is 3 games in a row now it's been used, but it wasn't early on.
It'd be interesting to see, against one of these teams that have Crespo, Van Nistelrooy, Vieri, Sigalko, how many Impensas are there floating around? Is there any?
It might be none. There might be one, but I think there's none. I'm surprised as well.
Wow. Unreal. That's ridiculous.
Knowing what he's been doing for the Devils.
Clearly the scouting missions haven't been coming down the old Devil's lair recently.
I'm just not sure if there's a single Impenza. Yeah, they might
I'll
be
be
one of
very
the big surprises.
disappointed. How many managers have you got? Is it 28 managers?
28 and no
I'd be
Impensas.
disappointed if not one of the 28 has an Impenza in their squad somewhere.
There's only one Ronaldo as well.
Really?
There's only Hulls have got Ronaldo.
He's a funny one on the game though, isn't he? Because he has all the stats without ever pulling up the numbers. Even on home saves, he doesn't pull up the numbers.
Yeah, I had him at Bayern in my squad, and I couldn't put him up front because he wasn't scoring the goals, so he ended up being in a free role in attacking mid, and it was all right, but he's not the kind of player that I don't think I'll be signing him again.
No.
If I've got him, if I'm ever into, fair enough, I'll play him, but otherwise, no. I mean, Andy Melville there, probably better than Ronaldo, putting in some tackles, some decent key tackles, key headers, only ended up on a 6. I assume it's conceding 4 goals that's brought his rating down.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Coleman didn't win a tackle, didn't try a header.
I mean, I would like to see this Gondor team against the Otis team if they've not played each other and see who would come out on top there.
Yeah, I think everyone's played each other. Let's just check a quick look at Gondor this season. In fact, not everyone's definitely played each other all the time. Well, they're playing each other in the Cup coming up in just 2 games' time. No, in 1 game time. It's next match.
Next game. Yeah.
And it's
and Otis did beat them 3-0 in the last game.
In the last game, yeah. I've just remember speaking to to Mr. Swan about that fixture coming up soon. It's the only match that's taking part in that round, so it'll be done as quickly as possible, that one. And Penzer's a myth.
Oh, good kid. No, 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 no. Oh, I was only praising you for being a man of taste no more than 15 minutes ago, and you've gone right down in my estimations there.
And
What a poor, poor opinion to have.
what perfect time it is to now be on the Trumpton Vice Squad match as well. Big Kid is here, and his side are playing against the Grove Imperials, who last time out a 3-1 defeat to the league leaders. But
This Grove Imperial side seem. I'm guessing this is some sort of theme because there's a lot of players you wouldn't automatically pick.
yep, it's certainly a theme. Everyone's played for the same team.
Well, it's not West Ham. No, not Liverpool. Portsmouth?
Mhm. Portsmouth it is. Yeah,
Interesting.
they've had quite a selection of players in the past, haven't they?
They have. We've got Swindon have got Portsmouth on Tuesday. I think they can officially relegate us.
Ooh, that's hopefully Portsmouth. I mean, if the Grove team turned up, then you'd be in trouble.
Mate, if the CM0102 community turned up at the county ground at the minute, we'd be in trouble.
So, Ronaldo experimented as a sweeper in a free roll. I think we do need to check this out a little bit more, Big Kid. I know that you're a formation experimenter, and we have to try it out at some point again. This will be good. So yeah, just taking a quick look at the side. I mean, there's no runs, and I don't know whether Stu was asleep when he forgot to put the runs onto the team, but
I mean, I'm an advocate for an arrow, if I'm honest. I do like an arrow. So seeing no arrows bothers me. I think it shows a lack of ambition. I mean, it's weird because you look at it and you think it's not a bad team, but it's one of them where when you've seen what some of the others are putting out, you also think it's not a great team. I mean, how are they doing in the league so far?
well, they are 10th, but they're still ahead of Rugby, although they're now technically behind.
Rugby
them,
have won tonight.
And Rugby have jumped 2 places before kick-off, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
With their win there, it's interesting to look at Grove and think this tale of their strikers. Whoever they put up front for the first half never seems to do anything, and Dario Silva's been lethal coming off the bench. Andy Cole's been better coming off the bench. The players can't do it at the start of the match, and Defoe's been given 2 starts and not scored. So it's a strange one. And Trumpton Vice Squad, I mean, you are going to enjoy this formation, surely.
Oh my dear God!
So the centre backs will run to the wings, and the wingers will run to the striker positions. It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't really know what to say, if I'm honest. Where I was saying earlier that Steve seems to like to bore the opposition into submission, I'm guessing the plan here is to just confuse the opposition so much that players are just popping up everywhere.
To me, it's got the look of blockbusters.
I was going to say it looks like one of the, the little spaceships in Star Wars that always come out the Death Star to start firing at people. It looks a little bit like that. I mean, they've got the immovable object and the unstoppable force in Vieira and Ndai. We've got another Veron on show, and he's done quite well. Sigalko, we know can score goals. I'm just a bit disappointed there's not a random player in this squad. Again, it's one of these fully Galactico squads.
Well,
obviously.
Ray Parler. He's played a few times this season. Yeah, Ray Parler. Vance Warner.
I mean, I've noticed a couple of Devils in the squad, so that would be a plus sign. However, and again, I'm a big fan of Big Kid, but if you've got Barry Ferguson and you're not going to play him, then we've got problems. You've called him Penza a myth. You're not playing Barry Ferguson. We're gonna fall out.
But how can you not love his team because he's got the arrows, as he's referred to that? You like an arrow, and they've got what, 7?
Yeah, no, I like an arrow. They're a bit random, but I like people who are going to be unique and creative and a bit rogue. But we got an issue if you're calling them Benza a myth and not playing Barry Ferguson. I mean, I'd love you to leave that arrow on, but I know you won't.
I think that would have
Can
worked
you
so
imagine?
much
If
better.
just for the first 10 minutes you left that arrow on, and you can imagine his reaction at home watching it. He'd go in spare, throwing stuff around the room.
I was thinking Jorge Campos could easily do that run. He'd be fine. That's the player that, if I wasn't going for a concept side next season, he'd be in my squad.
Do we know? Have you announced what your concept side is for next year yet?
I can't remember if I mentioned it on here, but my concept side is extremely likely to be the countries from the Eastern Bloc, sort of minus any Soviet kind of things. So it'd be like East Germans, Hungarians, Czechs, Slovaks, Poles, Albanians,
Okay.
and Bulgarians, that kind of thing. So a bit of a different one, but yeah, I won't be able to have any Belarusians, which I will miss.
Interesting. It's an advert for zonal marking, this one. I'm going to say Trumpton win by 2.
2 or 12, depending on how the formation goes. There it is. Dennis Bergkamp, in the second minute of the match, has made it 1-0, and they have confused the Grove side straight away. What a start.
I'll tell you what, Bergkamp had a great touch, didn't he?
Well, so his wife says. He's still at 1-0, and we haven't had a lot going on since the early goal. Okaronkwo's taken a yellow card, and I think Trumpton's tactic might be take it from kick-off. Oh no, Agahauer has proved that they can do things other than from the kick-off. 2-0, looking comfortable. That's the new Trumpton song, I believe, that Rob's singing there. Grover
What's
pulled
2-1?
one back. Isle Berkovic. And it is 2-1. It's an
Kyle
interesting game.
Berkovich, the ultimate chick flick.
He was, yes, I believe, yeah, was he become some kind of lawyer or something in the film?
Is it Erin Brockovich?
Yeah, I've not seen
Yeah.
it.
No, Norman, I don't know anything about it.
I may be wrong. I mean, there's some people in here who know what films are. I tend not to watch many. If it's not Toy Story or
Watching,
Senna.
do you know what? I do enjoy films, but I'm one of them people that if I enjoy a film, I'll watch it multiple times. I don't go off really searching for new films. So, like, I've only in the last couple of years got into the Marvel films. And just before we came on, I was watching Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Even though I know who all the characters are and I know, what's going to happen, I've not actually seen that particular film.
And the last film I watched was Waking Ned for about the 3rd time. What a great film that is.
Prior to Captain America, the last film I watched was last night. I was watching Green Street.
Ah, yes, Green Street. I've not seen it myself, but I know roughly what it's about. It's about grass, and grass being used instead of tarmac. Yeah, it's quite a good one, isn't it? Yeah, it's
yeah, that's the one.
Did well in Gardener's World. They gave it 5 stars. So in the it's actually not even a 2-minute.
Taking a weird turn.
It is a 1 minute. It's not even a 2-minute goal. Yeah, Bergkamp has just stretched to reach the pass from Sigalko, and that is, that's a sign of a good first touch.
The Grove manager, if you just look at the write-up for that first goal again, so it's gone from kickoff. You have to be asking, what the hell is Sol Campbell doing getting nutmegged from kickoff? Why he just got in for a marauding 2-footed tackle from kickoff and got completely done.
Yeah. So
it's like the scene in Mean Machine where Monk comes running out of his goal to 2-foot somebody.
And there he is, Sol Campbell, and it's straight away it's out of position putting that tackle in, and they've taken advantage. Then later in the half, we had Veron to Agahauer beating David Unsworth to the ball. David Unsworth getting out muscled by Agahauer. And then look at this from Grove. So David James has pushed it away and Smerteen's collected it. Played it forward to Sheringham, but then it's been intercepted. And then Berkovic takes on Nesta and then just carries on
Obviously.
going and smashes it into the top corner. Fantastic. Anyway, big kid. If you're probably not after any subs at half time, I can imagine. And we will go to 60 minutes if that's all right with you.
His formation is that bizarre that even Vieira doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, it's a very strange Vieira performance, isn't it, on a 6?
Vieira's just like, who am I supposed to be tackling?
At the moment, it's kind of like anyone, but also. We've had songs about the Trumpton song about big kids tactics, and now we've got the club song as well from Wooder. I think Wooder, next time you come on as a commentator, you're going to have to sing the Join Big Kids Club song. I think that'll be lovely. I do like a lot of arrows on my tactics, not on my tic tacs though. And then we can say that Grove have been trying. They've been trying, but they've got some horrendous.
They're just defensively shambles,
well.
aren't they?
John Curtis not attempting a tackle.
that's piss poor, really, isn't it?
It's a good way of summarising it. Certainly, Grove will not be making any subs this game unless enforced. They won't be doing that. And Trumpton, we will go to 60 minutes for you, big kid.
Veron's doing well tonight, and this is another Veron getting a 9.
Yeah, I'm pleased to see Veron playing as Veron should do. Tsigalko scores to make it 3-0. 3-1 even. 3-1.
I think this could end 5.
It's going a long time before the substitutes. It's been a whole 5 minutes. And, well, big kid, you're here. So, I know you've left the formation, the substitutes down to me. But you're here. So, why not? Robin, 85. Agahauer, 86. Rating-wise,
I think fitness-wise, they're all okay. The only thing I'd be minorly concerned about is Vieira on a 6 and a yellow. Is he destined for that red?
Yeah, I would probably, personally, I'd look to save him. But then, does his average rating? Is he going to try and save his average rating? That's going to be the question now, doesn't it?
Yeah, possibly.
So we'll give him a little bit of time to comment if he wants to make any changes. Otherwise, we'll take Vieira off ourselves. If he suggests anything else, we won't. They've got good subs on though. Saeed is there. West's there if they need a defender. Rizitsky can do a job on here, and Henri's obviously a natural finisher, so it's a strong bench.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously Frey, as I mentioned earlier, is a goalkeeper I know a lot about.
You do indeed, and with Costanzo in goal, Costanzo, ever since I said that he was my favourite goalkeeper on 0102, I think I haven't seen him perform well, and that's now 2.5 months. He's been good for this team, been very good for this team. Yeah. I've never seen him play well for my own team since then, and in fact, he played twice for Stackington and conceded 10 and was dropped. Barthez played 2 and conceded 10, and he was dropped as well. So let's go ahead. I mean, we haven't got any comment there, so let's go ahead with the Vieira substitute. And Vieira, I think, with the position it'll be a Rizitsky rather than Saeed.
Yeah.
So let's do that. And in terms of anything else, I mean, Vieira off and Rizitsky on. We've done the right thing there, and then swap Veron and Rizitsky. Lovely. So we did do the right thing. We've done half of it, and there we go. Wonderful.
Hashtag horse and fifey no.
Yeah, we certainly do. We'll just see if he wants to make a second one. If it's a no, give me a no. If it's a yes, go ahead.
I'm going to say it'll be a no. I think that'll be it.
Yeah, I mean, will he just want to keep Okoronkwo safe? We know he's got Saeed and West on the bench. He's got 7.2 average ratings. Not going to be affected by dropping by a little bit. Hmm. Do 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 do. Okoronkwo off and Fred West on. Yes, let's go for it. There.
Oh, see now I've got an issue with West being completely the wrong side.
We shall get on with the game now. Okay. And if you did mean to make a third sub, then apologies. we are here at 73 minutes into the game almost now. Still 3-1, still very, very comfortable for them. Can they get a fourth? No is the answer so far. John Curtis has now put in a tackle, and it was a bad one. He's been booked, and we head toward the very, very final minutes of this game, looking for a fourth goal, but I don't think they get it, and they don't. It is a solid 3-1, 2 10s. Sigalko and Veron. Great performance for Trumpton. David Unsworth on a 4 for Grove.
I mean, they've been dominant, haven't they?
Yes, yeah. This. I mean, it is the only blot on the copybook is that they concede a goal from the
With
only
the
shot on
only shot
target.
on target.
Yeah, more possession. They've been better. They've had more of the ball in every area of the pitch. And the second half goals were... Was it one? Or was it none? It was none.
So yeah, there was one.
Oh, there was, yes, indeed. So Robin, what have we got? Agahawa to Robin, takes on Unsworth, spins past him. Then he plays it into Sigalko, and Sigalko finishes it off. Wonderful. Nesta, 14 tackles won.
He's top player, and he's arguably best. Well, definitely in the top 5. Is he arguably the best centre back on the game?
It's quite possibly. I tend not to play his big team so often, so
Yeah.
He's one of those players that I haven't got much experience of managing. I've got more
Yeah.
experience with Cannavaro, and I do like Cannavaro, but Nesta, yeah, very, very solid indeed. He's almost as good as Njai.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Sigalko, quality performance. Veron, great performance. Looking at the dribbles, did they do anything there? No, I expected to see more, to be honest. For Grove, well, Lauren finished the game at 21%. Whatever happened there to him, he's probably
He just had to do some running, didn't he?
took a late knock, I imagine, to his knee. And David Unsworth with a wonderful 4. The less said about that performance for Grove, the better, except the fact that at least Campbell and Smirtine have been making some decent tackles.
Yeah, defensively, largely speaking, it was a shambles. Like you say, got the 4 for Unsworth, the 5 for Curtis. They haven't really controlled the midfield. You're looking there at you got the 6, for example, for D'Alessandro. You would want more, and when you're up against the caliber of sides that a lot of people have gone for in this league, you need a lot more than what he got there.
Much, much more. There are, I think, 2 games left, because I know that my side's got to play and Dangley's have got to play.
Yeah, I've not seen Wooders Danglish yet.
So yes, Woodard, we will do the change for you in that last game. Trumpton piece. He's got some interesting opinions about other teams. I think every team apart from the Dangleys. So Dalgety Rangers, who they name a completely unchanged side today. They've got a quality side out, the second in the league. Last time out, beat 76ers 2-0. They haven't done any squad selections today, so there won't be any subs during the game unless required. But they are a good side, aren't they?
Yeah, another team who are failing to utilise Barry, I notice. But yeah, they've clearly built their squad strong when you see the likes of Nicky Franco only getting on the bench as well.
Yes, only on the bench despite scoring 6 goals in his 7 starts and 2 sub appearances. It's not at the best average rating, but 7 goals is something else, isn't it? 6 goals, sorry.
Brozek, another good player that I know from the Super League. So
Yeah, he's playing well as well. This team is full of decent performances, definitely. Dagley's always on last match of the day to keep the supporters engaged. We do love the Dagley side. I mean, one of my friends outside of the Champ Manager Twitter community is a big Danglies fan. It's, that's just what you need, isn't it? You need people who are fans of
um,
players outside the
the,
league.
what I would say about this team is, as strong as they do appear, the fact that they go into it, that they seem to have this sort of arrogant approach of not needing any defensive midfielders. So if they come up against a decent side who can also play the game and attack with power, they could be in trouble.
Yeah, it's okay for today though because they're up against Stackington. So, but Stackington are packing the midfield of the pitch. We know that the middle of the pitch is very much the Stackington area at the moment with how it's going so far. There's 2 attacking mids up against the lack of defensive mid. It's an
Oh, it's nice to
unchanged.
see. It's nice to see Balmer appearing. We've got another Van Nistelrooy. Silvestri is a player who came into discussion in the Super League pre-season because I think it's at Scott's side, Bostock. He signed him this year, and I rated him as one of my top 5 transfers because I thought he'd do very well, and everyone was like, "Well, why?" And I said, "Because he's actually really good." I could, interesting. You've adopted the Didier Agat at right wing policy as well.
Yeah, I'm not
Um,
sure it's exactly his strongest position. I think he's better as an attacking mid, sort of that one step further up the pitch. But the run should hopefully help him out a bit.
but yeah, because you've got the likes of Nicky Forenko there and Balmer in attacking positions as well. Be interesting to see if you can exploit the lack of defensive cover that the other side have in midfield.
Hopefully, Ibrahim Saeed's suspended today. Otherwise, he'd be not doing his run, but he was in instead of Silvestre last game. It's the one lineup change that's been made. Is that Silvestre?
Was it you that made the suicide run famous that Dragons adopted for a short while?
Um, well, in terms of that, yes. In terms of on the Twitter, but no, because it's the manager of Fortuna Deflection from our games of 97, 98 when we were growing up. He did the Luis Enrique run from sweeper to striker to excellent effect,
Okay.
and that's where it came from. And then we both started playing players like Saeed at defensive mid since that kind of time. And I've kept it through loads of things. This is basically the first game in a long time where I haven't.
So I remember you were saying earlier about your goalkeeper situation. Is it the fact that Quim hasn't conceded 10 in 2 games that means he gets the nod ahead of the likes of
He's
Barthez?
been outstanding since he's come into the team. He's been really, really good. I mean, he's conceded fewer goals in 8 league games than the others conceded in 2. So definitely something there. But yeah, I am definitely thinking that Keem is a decent goalkeeper now, and he would be a loss when I do change the concept. What's the theme for the Sackington side? At this one, these are players I like. That is pretty much it. Players I like, and
The
and a
theme
couple
is players I
a
like.
couple of gambles. I'd never had Musa Yahya before, and he's not really getting into the team, but I've never signed him before. Song Jong-gook was, Mr. Fortuna had been playing him in his squad, and I thought, yeah, it's good cover. He can cover pretty much anywhere
Mhm.
in apart from up front. And Tommy Mutton, just his name, isn't it? Really, he's
He's dressed as lamb.
yeah. I mean, Hutton dressed as lamb. That's the kind of the player that you want. Dr. Kamalo, absolute Championship manager legend. So yeah, but I'm not playing most of those at the moment. There's no space for Mike Duff in my team, so that's saying
No.
something. And I'm a big Duff fan.
Well, you're not playing a tactic that would suit his capabilities,
No,
are you? So
no,
why not?
he's not a right mid, and he's not gonna. But he would be a good backup centre back, to be honest. But I've
Yeah.
got some other good ones there. No place for the good doctor. Yes, he's too busy getting shot at weddings. That's what's happening to him. Oh, I'm in
Do
yellow today.
you seeing him being called the good doctor there? Do you
Kenny
remember
Duker.
Kenny Duper?
Yeah, Kenny from Gretna. Yeah,
He's from Gretna. Yeah, what a lad.
he was quite the player, wasn't he? He
He
scored
bagged loads of goals.
and then just faded. Then he just
He
faded.
just
We're
disappeared.
into this game, and last time around this game finished 4-2 to De Gers. It was 0-0 at half time, and Stackington took a 2-0 lead before falling apart after the substitutes. It was Agahauer who
Questions need to be asked the
changed the
manager
game.
when that sort of thing happens.
I know, and and that's why the formation change happened, I think. So much was going on. Oh, we got a 1-0.
Oh,
Pablo Aimar gets the opening goal, and it seems pretty much like attack versus defence for most of it. We've had one chance for Stackington of any note, but pretty much this is Dalgety Rangers just on the attack and performing very well. But Van Nistelrooy has
1-1.
equalised.
Van Nistelrooy
1-1.
scored his 52nd goal of the night.
I was going to say, yeah, he's scoring for most teams, isn't he, at the moment? And it's helping me. But he's just scored again for the other team, and it's
now.
2-1. And Dalgety Rangers benefit from a Van Nistelrooy scoring goals. Yeah, I scored my only shot on target, which is okay. But I mean, the fact that I've only had one shot on target is not outstanding.
That stat would be much better, as you say, if you'd had 6 or 7 on target.
Yes. Yeah, I'd much rather have had that kind of thing going on. But yeah, I mean, Dalgety Rangers dominating the possession, dominating the shots. Let's take a look at the goals. So, Baumer's cleared it, but Emerson has basically played it into Aimar, and Aimar has... Well,
That's poor reactions from your defence.
yeah, not the best. They've just taken charge of a loose ball and done something with it. So Nikiforenko has played in Van Nistelrooy with a lovely chip, and Van Nistelrooy heads it in. But then Van Nistelrooy, look at this one here. So he takes on Baumer and Milevski and Njai. That's three.
I mean,
great players
again,
to take
questions
on there.
need to be asked if Ruud van Nistelrooy is running around 3 people.
They certainly do. They certainly do. And I could tell that one of the players has not had the best game. But it's Carlos Gamera, I think, not had the best game for Stackington. Yeah, I mean, they're doing a good job, Dalgety, but as you can see there, they've only had to put in 4 tackles.
Mm-hmm.
They've only won 4 tackles, but they are 2-1 up. I mean, that shows the lack of ambition so far from Stackington, I think.
I think if your 2 wingers just dropped back one position and had the longer attacking arrow, you'd probably see that solidified things a bit more for you.
Might well do that, yeah. I think at that point, though, if that sort of thing happened for me, I think I'd be more likely to play Duff than a Gat.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, I will be sticking with my my formation as the game goes along. Paulo
Yeah,
Sergio.
it's Gamara with a 5.
Yeah, Gamera's been awful so far, but he'll stick with it for a bit. And Paulo Sergio is likely to come off at 60 minutes, I think. He's looking like he's got a bit of a knock. He has a bad knee, poorly knee. No subs at half time for either side. And Jai's taken a yellow card, so not the best start to the second half for Stackington. As Dalgety come forward again, and Aimar has made it 3-1. This is definitely looking like it's going to the form of who's doing better in the league at the moment. We've got another chance, and there's Van Nistelrooy for 4, and the team have started to fall apart. And we will be substituting.
Sometimes you just need to quim and bear it, don't you?
Ulf Kirsten's going to come on for Paulo Sergio and Van Nistelrooy is going up front, and Jai is going to have to come off with a yellow card and a 5. And Gamma has at least gone up to a 6. And will I make a third sub? I think not, in case I end up getting a goalkeeper injured and getting dominated. So just the 2 subs and nothing for Dalgety Rangers, who will continue to press as they do. So Balmer's had a chance and Stephenson trying to come back into it a little bit, but it's very much Dalgety still pressing for a 5th goal. Aymar looking for a hat-trick, and he's certainly been on form with what he's been doing today. A yellow card for Gamera now to top it all off. That's 3 of the centre-backs of the 4 that's played being booked. Can they get a consolation goal? Doesn't seem like it. And we finished the game at 5-1 in the end. 5-1. Well, wonderful play from
You
Dalgety
can't
Rangers.
be happy with that.
Well, of course I'm not. Of course I'm not.
Molesty 5 and Die 5, Gamara 5. Defensively, you've been completely
Destroyed.
just bulldozed down the way.
Destroyed, yeah. I mean, Kim conceded 5 goals after building him up before the game. He has just gone all slack, hasn't he?
Literally parted like the Red Sea every time they've run at you there.
And 5-1. Dalgety Rangers, 16 shots, 13 on target. I mean, I would be disappointed, but I've lost 6-0 this season.
So you're suggesting this is an improvement?
It's certainly, but I mean, but Dalgety Rangers now, it's an aggregate of 9-3 against them this season. In terms of how it's been, it's not been the greatest season for second team, but we did get into the top half. So Aymar has got on a rebound. The next goal, Aymar's played in Venice. I mean, what a performance from Aymar, it says. Still blaming Silvestre.
Still blaming Silvestre.
Might as well do. And then the late goal, a loose ball picked up by Emerson and put in. Yeah, I mean, wonderful from them. So Aymar with an assist and 2 goals. Van Nistelrooy with 2 goals. Still
with the exception of Steve being boring, we've seen some real good attacking performances tonight.
We certainly have, haven't we?
Lots of goals, lots of 9s and 10 ratings. Just shame Steve ruined it by being boring.
Oh, Tato shows his face late on to tell me I should be ashamed. You're absolutely right, Tato. I am pretty ashamed of that performance, to be honest.
Evening, Tato.
I'll be doing my absolute best to have words with the team, apart from maybe Nikiforenko and anyone with a 7's done all right. I mean, Van Nistelrooy, an 8's the minimum you should expect from him, and some of them have just let me down. The last match,
I mean,
go on.
My general thing, whether I'm doing Super League or whether, like earlier today when I was playing at home, my general thing is, basically, there has to be a minimum of a 7. If they get a 6, as long as I'm not having an injury crisis, 6 or below they get dropped. 5 they get a warning. 4 and below is where they start getting fines.
And I'd be warning quite a few players there. But it's not just my family. It's not just my family I've let down. I think I may have let the entire world down tonight. That's the weight of it on my shoulders now for the rest of the time. I mean, yeah, if we were thinking we've had attacking displays tonight, I mean, how many hat-tricks have been this season? Do you know, that should be a stat that we start to count and see if we get any and see what we can find. It'll be interesting to find out if we have had hat-tricks this season. Good question, Jim. Danglies. Attacking.
Now, I get that Wooder has gone with the theme of they've played for Liverpool.
Yes.
But
not picked really any good ones.
No, even at this stage of, champ and where Liverpool were at the time. I mean, first and foremost, they must have had better defenders
Then
that was
TT
playing in
Camera.
the game. I mean, Jamie Carragher, first and foremost, surely
Well, Sammy
has to
Hoopier,
be,
Stefan Shaw.
yeah, Hippier, Honcho. I mean, the Liverpool starting squad is generally better than this. I mean,
Don't
I
disrespect.
mean,
We
I
love
know,
the
I
Danglies.
know, I know. Wooder is deeply upset by his team's failings, and I would love nothing more than to bring him joy this evening by overseeing them doing better. But at this point, I mean, I'd forgot Cinema Pongal even existed. At this point, I'm not going to say. I mean, we haven't seen the opposition yet, but we've got the suicide run from defence. We've got Cinema
From a striker.
Pongal. We've got is Jimmy Traore not the one who scored the amazing own goal? Like he
Yes,
span on the ball on
against
the goal
Burnley.
line.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, oh God. I
I'm,
mean, this is dross, isn't it? Come on, Wood.
I'm going to turn off the offside trap as asked, but I cannot put a free roll on TT Camera because that would be a player instruction, so I cannot put one on him. It just depends on whether he's got one or not. Does he have a free roll? Probably not. Yes, he does. He does have a free roll. Of course, Sweeper has a free roll. Yes. So he is fine. He's all well and good for this game. He's already free roll. You are absolutely right. Sorted. Well, lovely. Let's see how he gets on.
Well, from the bottom of my heart, good luck, Wooder.
Knowing that Peter Crouch has still played, he got special dispensation to be made into an 89th minute substitute, despite the fact that we have 45 and 60 minutes. So he made his debut on the 89th minute against Stee.
I mean, where is Michael Owen and Emil Heskey? I mean, is the
Not good
theme
enough. They're not
the
good enough.
shittest possible Liverpool squad that could be assembled?
No, Torben Peachnick's not here, so I'm not sure about that. And
Bruno Shuru.
Peggy Arfexad could be, yeah, it's actually I loved Arfexad. I thought he was a great goalkeeper. And
He's a lot like is it Rashutka at Man United? He's one of them goalkeepers who seemingly out of nowhere turns into something relatively good.
did he turn out good? I mean, he played for Charlton a couple of times.
No, I mean on the game, not in real
Oh,
life.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh,
Poor
good. We've got another Van Nistelrooy. We've got another Veron, and we've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Shame he's
There
not
he
playing.
is. He's made one sub appearance this season, and what you'll notice that Atletico New Mills have gone for a tribute to the Danglies, and are also playing a sweeper.
Neil Scally there, going to do Neil Scally things. Mike Duff.
They must still. Is there still one more match after this? I feel like there's still one more match. I don't remember Blues playing.
I
Did
don't
the
know. I
Blues
haven't
play?
been counting. Just enjoying myself.
There might well be one more match. So
And
yeah, I just can't remember.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna back the Danglies here. One of these underdogs I have to win eventually, and it's going to be Cinema Pongal show after I forgot he even existed, isn't it?
It's going to be interesting if it is, because this season has not been the Cinema Pongal show.
I I'd like to see, given the build up that Wood has been giving it, like on WhatsApp and on here and stuff. I'd love to see Camera scoring his free roll from sweeper.
Wouldn't it be interesting to see if the sweeper role with that run to striker does the job? We are 16 minutes in. It is 0-0. You've been told not to back the Danglies.
Oh, okay. In which case they're going to get rammed.
And Dudek is on a 9 already. What a performance he's been putting in. But Ronaldinho makes it 1-0. And the run is over. Can they get through this one? Vouching for the sweeper run being good. Zidane good as a sweeper as well as somebody else to do it. Maybe TT Camara will be good. Big kid. I mean, Zidane, Ronaldo, yes.
TT Camera.
I mean, when you do think of the elitist players of the time, you think Zidane, Ronaldo, and Titi Camara all in the same bracket, don't
You have to say them all in the same breath. Definitely. Ronaldinho has scored 2, by the way, at this point, and Atletico New Mills are looking strong with no shots for the Danglies, which has happened on about 4 occasions this season, I think.
you? We've all been there.
It's, yeah, I mean, domination in terms of the attacking chances, domination in terms of possession. The 2 goals were scored, first of all, with Ronaldinho with a header that's then been saved by Dudek. He's done his best and he's put the rebound in. We know that Woodard doesn't do substitutes the vast majority of the time. And the other one is Van Nistelrooy with a header from Ronald. So Ronaldinho's had 2 headers. One's been a goal and one's led to a goal. He's had 6 out of 8 headers he's won, and 4 of them are key.
Wow. He's clearly
Wow.
going up against Cameron, thinking he can just ball juggle his way into the net, isn't he?
Has he been caught offside much? Has this been TT Camera, I suppose, rather than Ronaldinho? We'll have a quick look at how Camera's been getting on in terms of where is he? He's there. Offside? No, you've had 1 offside. It was Cinema on goal. He's also he's won no tackles, and he's had no shots. And he's also
So really,
5.
He's been completely ineffective in that role, doing neither the defending or the attacking. He's just basically running up and down doing a bleep test.
Yeah, I think let's see how he's got on by seeing how his second half goes. Michael Hughes had a very quiet game, by the way. He's been having a good season, and today he's been fairly quiet. So expect something in the second half from Michael Hughes. We've kicked off the second half, and there's been chances already for Atletico New Mills, who at one point early in the season were averaging about 18, 19 shots a game.
I mean, not only do Danglies not look like they're going to get back into this, but we're not even seeing red and white in the text commentary.
It's very, very little going on, isn't it? Anyone 5 or below? No. Anyone under 82% fitness? We have nobody, so there'll be no subs. Quite
Perfect.
Simply. And Danglies don't do subs, but are they tired? Not that bad at all. We've got more chances, more and more chances for the Athletic side, and Danglies holding on to a 2-goal defeat so far. Can they get themselves back into it? No, Ronaldinho. There's a hat trick. There is a hat trick. It's Ronaldinho.
Who was it that was asking about hat tricks earlier? Was it Big Kid?
It was. Yeah, it's gone out of the way of our chat, hasn't it? We'll. If I was to look, I'd be able to find, but I was enjoying the match too much. Yeah. First hat trick. Is it? We shall find out.
Congratulations, Woodard.
Not many more shots.
That is abysmal. 0 shots on goal. Absolutely abysmal.
If I were to look at the stats for this season, I think it's about 3 or 4 times that's happened to that team.
That is truly horrific. I mean, it's clearly not taking it seriously. The tactically inept. The players are just not good enough. I don't want none of this European top goal scorer bollocks, or what was part of the team that won the fake treble of the Charity Shield, the UEFA Cup, and the League Cup. I think it was. That's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
Ronaldinho scored another header. That's how to put it there. He scored 2 headers, and his other goal was a rebound off a header from himself. So, dominant from Ronaldinho. One of the best performances we've seen from a player this season, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, Woodard.
Look at the passing from Delivio as well. What's he doing? Is he playing left wing back or something and dominating the passes?
He's made Neil Scally look a world beater.
We've You've got Ronaldinho's and 7 dribbles in addition to all this heading. That is an absolutely quality performance, and can't remember many better individual performances of someone without them scoring like 7 or 8 goals or something silly like that.
Yeah.
Danglies, let's have a look at their stats and not forget them. Titi Camara didn't win a tackle. He didn't have a shot. He won 2 headers, but not against Ronaldinho, I imagine. And he was caught offside once.
5s galore throughout the team. Bang average, with the exception of. Do you know what? What is quite amusing is the player he was trying to pimp out earlier was Steve Staunton, from what I remember, and
He's had a storming performance.
He's got himself in 8.
Yeah, I mean there are some standout performances of. I mean, three of the back 12 have performed quite well, to be honest, haven't they?
Wood is saying that we are away to near top of the league. That's irrelevant. Anyone can beat anyone on their day if they, if they've got the right team. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you can't. If you don't shoot, you can't score.
And that's a good way to end that one, isn't it? There is one more game. Yes, Blues versus 76ers. And for this one, 76ers, the cup winners, they have, last time out, they lost 2-0 to the Aldgate Rangers, who obviously had conceded 5. And today, they've gone for something different, which involves Baumer playing even further forward than he played for Stackington.
This looks very similar to what I played. Was it last week? I had 3 at the back.
Is it? Yeah, last Sunday with the.
Sunday I played something very, very similar.
Good night,
Excuse
Mr.
me.
Wooder. Good night, Mr. Wooder. Thank you very much for your attendance tonight and your wonderful chat participation.
Yeah, good night, pal. Takanardi's a good player. I like Takanardi. Nice to see the odd different name turning up. With his like Romadal
he's
there.
been quite solid this season, Takanardi, and he's done a good job as an extra defender, really, for the time.
Yeah.
Romadal this season, he's not been the best. It's got to be said about him.
No, but it's just nice to see a few different players. Del Piero's there. Definitely better in real life than he is on the game.
Oh, much better.
Van Bommel, nice to see again another different name, and Buffon, who for me, I was talking earlier about Ronaldinho being the GOAT. For me, Buffon is the number 1 goalkeeper. We were very lucky to grow up in an era of Buffon and Casillas, and for me, Buffon just edged it.
And Buffon this season is in the top 15 for average ratings in the division of all players. So he's the only goalkeeper to make the top 15. So very good for him.
Glass smashed it all over the kitchen and our lass has kicked off.
Well, if you've reached rock bottom like that, then get yourself back onto listening to this instead. You might as well. You've got nothing to lose. So 76ers up against the league leaders, who have made, I think it's 2 changes. One enforced with Vieira suspended, and he's also injured as well, so it didn't really matter that he's suspended. And that Mike Duff is coming in for his debut. Now they are leading the league, so why not? And it's still a very, very impressive side.
We've seen you get your rear end handed to you playing this exact formation.
Very true.
Now we're going to see it again with a team that's in better form. Again, nice to see Zé Roberto's name pop up there. However, having seen the team that the 76ers put out just a second ago, I think they stand a good chance of upsetting the odds here.
So you're thinking 76ers maybe have what it takes for this game. I am just looking for the Dublin Blues squad so I can put the right squad number on for Mike Duff, and hopefully it's still available and I have done the right things with them. The Badger Arrow formation. Yes. Not wrong at all there, Tato. You do like your wonderful Badger formation. and the arrows that go with it. Yeah, I enjoy this formation. I do enjoy it, and it took me a lot to come away from that massive arrow in defence. Last match. Here we go.
No, let's hope for, like I say, with the exception of the first game, it's been a very entertaining evening. So let's hope these two can see us out in style.
I thought it was just it looked like a massive ghost game because I had to click on each team at least twice to continue to the kickoff. I thought
Yeah,
we were gonna
sometimes it does that. It's bizarre.
I thought we were gonna have a disaster then at the end, but it started off too fast in commentary after all that. We've got Zeriberto. There's not many Zeribertos hanging around in the league, are there? But he's obviously such a quality player.
We also have to acknowledge, again, picking up on the theme of someone slightly different, we have to acknowledge what a player Maldini was.
Yeah, and I think, if I'm not wrong, Maldini's now got 2 for strength for somebody. I think if for Steve's side, he's now got 2 for strength, which is quite a step up.
Who is it that was getting all excited that they got David Batty up to like a 10 pace a couple of weeks ago? I don't remember who it was, but Steve must have been involved for me to have heard the conversation. It's Dimble's in it, isn't he?
In the eight, he's in with the
other league,
opening goal, Mark Van Bommel. Yeah, Dimble's with East Coast in the first division.
I have a feeling it might have been Dimble getting all excited that David Batty's pace had improved.
I don't think he's in East Coast, but I might be wrong. I think he's definitely in Los Aracas, but I'm not sure whether it might have been just a save outside of the game. It is 1-0 at half time. We had very, very little to commentate on at all in that half, but for some reason it's like the Blues have been pining on the shots, and it's gone unnoticed. But they are 1-0 up, doing a great job as league leaders, and look set to continue where they are. 50-50 on possession, and the goal was scored with Zeriberto's cross and Van Mool following up. Superb. It's as you'd expect from this sort of team. Very, very good.
Absolutely. You can't argue with that. They've been dominant in terms of the stats. Their ratings all look good. The performance levels for the first half look good. That they won't really have too many concerns.
No, not at all. We've got Mike Duff. Maybe that right midfield step is a little bit too far, but it's got to be worth a go, and he might have a great second half. We just can't predict these things. Nestor's been doing pretty well for 76ers.
That's why we still love this game all these years later.
It certainly is. There's not many games that people are going to cling on to for that long, and this is certainly one of those. Let's get straight into the second half and hope for something a little bit more exciting. Although Blues won't care because they're in the lead.
I'd like to see it get to 1-1 just to see what the Blues are made of.
Yeah, it certainly is strong stuff at the moment. I think this will take him to 34 points. Sigalko it is who scored. And I think that this game is now probably sewn up. Zeriberto on a 10. And let's just take a quick look at the substitutes that have been lined up for these. I believe it's the bad or tired at 60 instruction that I usually get from them. So, is anyone bad? No. Is anyone tired? I don't think that class is as tired enough, does it?
No.
So, why would you want to change this
I
team
always, again, an insight into what I look for myself. At half time, if they're below 85, that's when they come off. If from sort of 60, 65, if they're in the 70s, that's when they're coming off. If they're like 83, 82 in like the 65th minute, then I think they're good to continue.
Quite happy for them at that sort of thing. Let's have a quick look. Kesman for Sigalko if he hasn't scored. Well, he hasn't scored because it's 2-0. And although he scored for the other team, if that counts for him. And Rui Costa for the lowest rated midfielder. So of any of those, the lowest rated midfielder, well, is it all of them? So
they're all on
the least fit.
You'd keep Balmer because he's not going to want Totti wide.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. if Rui Costa's going to come on, he needs to come on more central. But then again, just follow the instructions we're given.
Mhm.
Del Piero, I don't think Del Piero's provided anything. I don't think he's provided anything at all. Van Bommel, Riquelme. Yeah,
They're all on sixes.
I think Del Piero's the least fit. I just
Do
don't think
it.
he's provided anything. He seemed quite Graham Symington. Yeah, let's bring
Mission is a myth.
Oh, it's sped up again. We've gone for the fast commentary now. We've made the change of thing. I'm not the biggest fan of Del Piero on the game. Real life, superb, but on the game, didn't have it.
No.
We had close in this game, 2-0 still, and the Blues looking like they are very, very comfortable at the top of this league.
Mm-hmm.
76ers, having won the cup, their form has dropped, but they're still, obviously, no pressure of being sucked into that bottom three battle. No teams relegated in this division, so it doesn't matter. Promotion looks a step too far for them.
No, you'd like to think that pride would take over and you wouldn't want to finish down there.
No, not whatsoever. Zeriberto, a 10. Let's just check what he's done. So, 6 tackles, 1 assist, and then 5 key passes, and 5 dribbles. So, very, very solid for him.
Super.
Match stats, dominant.
Absolutely dominant. As one-sided as you'll see, with the exception of maybe Woodder.
And then, they've had less possession. I don't think it really means much, does it, at all? But they've had less possession, and they've won. And that's all that really counts for them. So let's have a quick look. Duff to Lucio. Lucio to Nikiforenko. Nikiforenko back to Lucio. Takes it forward, plays in Sigalko. Wonderful team goal. And that was his first goal for the Blues. It's taken him just 2 games, but he scored his first goal for the club. Great.
Hopefully that'll steer him right going forward as well then, and gives the team an extra option now that he's found the net and be in some form.
Yeah, when your league leaders can rely on Sigalko towards the end of the first half of the season. Brilliant for them. So the results, a game, well, all home wins. It's the first time we've seen all home wins, I believe. But yeah, all home wins. And I am going to make sure the game is saved.
I just want to, looking at that, I just want to say to Roundhay and Los Aracas, fair play for being a tight, closely contested game, whereas the others were relatively. I mean, the other tight, close contested game was the ball fest that we opened with. So, congratulations to those 2 teams for keeping it tight, and well done to all the winners.
Agreed. Let's have a look at that table. A 3-point gap at the top for Blues with the Dalgety Rangers and Trumpton, so no real change there. Atleti also got their victory. Roundhay, really. So did that mean all the top 6 won? All the top 6 in Radaby? Is that what I'm thinking happened in that results? Yeah, well, all the top 6 in Radaby won their games. And that moves Radaby up to 9th in the table, which is a huge boost to them. 2 places gained, and now just a 5-point gap between themselves and the 2 teams above. So some big, big news for them. Down at the bottom, Gondor, 1 point from 13 games. Has not looked the best. We usually look at player stats, but seeing as the player stats are on screen all the time, as they're going through on that rotation, we're going to take a look at the team stats as we did yesterday with the things here. So the form team, Dublin Blues, 5 consecutive wins. There aren't many draws in this division, as you can see. We have, within the last 5 games, there's been 1 draw, or 2, is it 1 draw? Yeah.
That's interesting.
Radaby versus 76ers was the only draw in the last 5 rounds of fixtures.
It doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Attendance-wise, just 23 empty seats on average for Trumpton Vice squad. Dangley's with the lowest attendance, We did
That's because
see
they don't want to turn up and keep seeing their team getting humped.
we did see yesterday there was a. It's happening again here, isn't it? Look, we've got 70, 71, 72, and 76, 77. All of them. There's only 7 attendance difference between those 5 teams.
Tight, isn't it?
Very tight, very tight. I
It's
wonder
good
if
to
the
see,
fans will.
good to see teams being well backed and well supported.
Yeah, especially when Gondor have the 10th best support and are dire at the moment in terms of their results. Games won in a row. Dublin Blues 5 wins in a row. Defeats
In
11
any
for
in
Gondor.
any in any level, to be able to get sort of 5 games won in a row is an incredible effort. Because you'd like to think a lot of the teams. I know some of the teams with themes, perhaps not so much, but a lot of the managers have gone with Galactico squads, so they're evenly matched. So to be able to get to 5 wins in a row is a stunning effort.
It is good, yeah. The other result before that was a draw, so yeah, 6 unbeaten games for them. They're doing a superb job leading that table, but Gondor haven't won. Dangley's 5 games since they last won.
13 without a win. Wow.
13 games and 1 point. Dangley's 1 win. OT's 2 wins. 4 goals in 13 games is quite the stat, isn't it, really?
But to be fair, it doesn't surprise me the 3 teams that are down there from what I've seen tonight.
No, it doesn't, does it? Goals conceded, Dublin Blues just 8, which is just about half of any other. And yeah, Oatcake's 10th. It's a better defence than Stackington Colliery. Penalties. Roundhay have had 5 penalties this season and scored 4 of them. And 9 teams have had penalties, and 8 of them have scored because Radaby missed theirs.
He's so boring he can't even score his penalties.
We do love Steve.
We do.
He's just, his teams can sometimes be the unluckiest teams in the world. Goals from corners, Real E with 4, and Dublin Blues as well.
None for
Indirect free
Radaby.
kicks. Yeah, none. Indirect free kicks. I mean, yesterday one team dominated. I think it was Bolton Phoenix. 6 goals from direct free kicks.
Yeah, Ryan likes a set piece. Yeah, obviously being a Bolton fan, he's not used to the beautiful game, and he's all about the Big Sam style.
Oh yeah, because they lost to Grimsby today, didn't they?
Yeah. He's all about the free kicks and the set pieces and the hoofball.
Will we have a team with lots of red cards? Yes, it's the Oatcakes with 3. And Stackington, there's one team haven't had a red card.
Steve. Oh no, he has. There he is. He's got one.
Off the top of my head, I would struggle to think of that one.
Is it you?
No.
Oh no, you're there.
I mean, I should just be able to look at things and realise who it is.
Dangley's.
No, they've had Dean's. They've had 21 or something off against me. Chumpton, no Blues.
I can't see them on the list. Oh yeah, there they are.
There they are with the big name.
It's because I'm looking for Dangley's, not football club. Did Dangley's? Is it the Rangers team? Oh no, they're there.
Rangers. Grove Imperials. Grove Imperials, is it?
Grove, yeah.
Grove. There we go. So that's where we are. Next time round, fixture-wise, we go to one particular cup game, which is Gondor and OT's. But then the other games, our next round of league fixtures, sees some superb matches ahead.
So looking at these, you're looking at the second game there. Jers are going to absolutely dismantle Dangley's.
The top
Trumpton
three
are going to absolutely, Trumpton are going to obliterate Gondor. Grove Radaby could be another bore fest. The Arakisvi Atleti could actually be better than their positions suggest. And your game is going to be a hotly contested one.
It is. It's a bit of a gap, isn't there, between the two sides? But I mean, that's just in terms of points. Yeah, 6 point
Yeah,
gap.
for there to be
Nothing's going to
closed.
happen. But I'm just so intrigued by second bottom plays second top, bottom plays third,
So,
and first play 12th. That is huge. Massive, massive stuff going on. Anyway, Mr. Fife, fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us today. And
thank you
it's
very
been
much for having me
a pleasure
on.
to have you on. And we can see the chat is being great tonight. Superb. Thank you very much for everyone who's joined us. And if you are watching on a delay, you're missing out. All the best to you, everyone, and we will see you again soon. Good night.
Yeah, cheers, guys. See ya.
End stream. Dun dun dun.